cooks, as we close out the June 2025 Cookbook Club, and we say a Cookbook Club farewell to the Betty Crocker cookbook.
Bye-bye, Betty.
Well, we're not leaving it all together, but we cooked 4 recipes out of this book, and I got a good idea of some of my thoughts about this book, and we are going to usher in the new Cookbook Club cookbook for July 2025. We got a good one coming up this month. Welcome to the Amy Learns to Cook kitchen. So we spent the month of June with Betty Crocker, right? And if you'd like to know the history of the Betty Crocker cookbook, we talked about all my editions of this book. I'll put a link up here and down in the description to that video. Betty is not a real person, right? Betty is a home economist that they made up to sell flour, right? So it's a corporation who created this person, and they've been publishing and making products under the Betty Crocker name. So it's a whole team of people that have made this cookbook over the period of many years. Most of us have grown up with this cookbook. I remember the Big Red cookbook. We had that. Betty Crocker has just been a part of our lives, right? So I really wanted to try this cookbook out, and I can give a few words what I describe this cookbook. So this is the newest edition, and I can call this cookbook simple, right? Easy to use recipes with a lot of ingredients that you'll find at your regular supermarket. Varied, right? This covers everything from salads to appetizers to different cuisines to baking to every cooking technique you will find in this book. So I think this book is really good for a beginner. Or if you want an all-purpose cookbook that goes everything from A to Z, right? This is the cookbook for you. One of the things that I found in this cookbook is a lot of dishes just aren't seasoned that well, right? I think Betty has an issue with seasoning. She's a little scared of it, right? So you have to take her recipes and build on it for your own particular taste and how you enjoy to eat, recipes that you're used to, right? There's a lot of recipes in here, common recipes that we're used to, and there's a lot of learning that you can do in this book. So we started this cookbook this month by making the jelly roll cake, right? And I can tell you that there was a couple things going on with that cake. A lot of it was just my inexperience. I screwed up the recipe. It was a complete disaster. I remade it and it was still a disaster. I learned some things in the process. I learned that you really need a 10 by 15 jelly roll pan. I always thought of a half sheet pan as being a jelly roll pan, but jelly roll cakes are more in the 10 by 15 size. I also used the wrong kind of towel when I rolled it up. So I got myself some flour sack towels. My intention is to conquer the jelly roll because I want to make a pumpkin roll and a Yule log for Christmas, right? So that's what I need to do.
You also skimmed over the recipe, not reading it.
Yeah, I didn't read the recipe like all the way. I screwed it up left and right. Sorry there, Betty, right? It's thunder and lightning out there. So the next recipe we did was a 1-pan chicken with pan roasted cauliflower and orzo. This recipe was fantastic. It was delicious. I had to add a lot more seasoning to it, but I can tell you it was delicious. We finished it off the next day for lunch. I would definitely make that recipe again. So next we moved on to the gnocchi, right? Creamy Tuscan gnocchi. It was a delicious recipe. The problem is I'm using store-bought gnocchi. That's what it called for. And those things tend to be a little gummier and a little less
fresh tasting.
Yeah, they have I don't know, not an astringent taste, but I can't explain to it. I want to try to make that recipe using fresh gnocchi. She uses the store-bought. I'm not going to buy those again. It was a tasty dish, but I think that was a limitation with it. And finally, we made the banana cream pie, which that is one of Eric's favorite recipes. And I learned something because we tried to make one of those one time before, and we put the bananas in the custard and they turned gray. And really what I learned is it is a banana and cream pie and not a banana cream pie. So that was a lot of fun, and Eric enjoyed that pie. So we are saying a fond farewell to Betty. This is not the end of my world with Betty, but it is the end of the Cookbook Club for June. Now it's time to bring in July. So this is a book for July. What did I pick? So I've been lately sticking to this theme of I wanted the foundational text in a certain area. So we went to Betty Crocker for American cooking. We looked at Mastering the Art of French Cooking. We looked at...
we did bread making.
Yeah. So we're going to be doing something fun for July. I looked around. I had a lot of ideas, and I want to learn how to make some pasta. So we are going to dive into Faden's The Silver Spoon. Yay! Right?
Yeah.
So if you talk to any Italian cook, they will tell you that they have a copy of this book. This is a foundational Italian cooking book. It has been around for years. It was originally published only in Italian, and it was recently in like 2005-ish. It was translated by Faden. They're a big publisher that does a lot of art, architecture, cookbooks, right? And it was reissued in English. This has over 2,000 fundamental Italian recipes. There wasn't one author of this book. This is a collection of recipes from people all across Italy, the best cooks in Italy, right? The best. This is the best of the best. It is Italy's best-selling cookbook for the last 50 years. So when you're talking the joy of cooking for like American cooking, and you're talking Mastering the Art of French Cooking by Julia Child for French cooking, you're talking The Silver Spoon for Italian. So we are diving into this baby. We're going to be making some pasta one week. I'm going to be getting out those KitchenAid rollers, and we're going to make some pasta. We'll probably make some frittata maybe. We might make some polenta with a little meat sauce on it. I don't know. I got to dig through here and see what I want to do. So this is The Silver Spoon. And there's been another edition out since this one came out. This is actually the English translation to the original. They brought out another one. It has a red cover, and it's been updated, and some things were taken out. And then they brought out one recently that says the classics, which means they pulled out what they think is the best of the best, and they put it into that version. It has like a sort of like a fabric cover to it, I think, and it's tan. But this is the original. You know, you have a cookbook that says eating is a serious matter. You know you're in for something good, right? So the book covers tools, cooking terms, poultry, game, cheese, desserts, and baked goods, menus by celebrated chefs. We have sauces, marinades, and flavored butters, antipasti, appetizers, and pizza, first courses, eggs and frittata, vegetables, fish and seafood, meat, and variety meats. We're not going to be doing any variety meats, right? That's it's non-traditional cuts, right? And this book sort of follows the Italian way of cooking. They cook from like a fresh ingredient, as opposed to, I'm going to make this dish and I'm going to gather the ingredients, and they might not be the best. When they go to the store, instead of having a mission of what I want to cook, they go to the store looking for the best and the freshest ingredients, and they cook something with that ingredient. So they're looking for the best and the freshest in their cooking.
You're saying we're course driven, or they're ingredient driven?
Yes. So this is an ingredient driven book. Soups, obviously, but it's eggs, vegetables, fish, seafood, different meats, squab, desserts, baking, traditional stuff. But we're gonna learn how to make this the Italian way, right? So for July 2025, we're cooking out of the silver spoon.
Yeah.
Yay! Thanks for joining me. I hope you join me for the Cookbook Club. This is going to be an amazing time we're going to have. Hope you join me.